Welcome to Becoming a Writer podcast, a space where we write freely, write fearlessly, and write forever. I am Rubina Gauri Gomes, and as your writer friend, I want to give you the love, support, and encouragement to realize, become, and stay a writer for life. If that is what you need in your current writing phase, please give this podcast a follow. I would also request that you leave a review so that other fellow writers can find this podcast as well. You can also send me your suggestions and questions through the form in the description and help us grow together. You can find more about our conversation and your free Writer's Mental Toolbox PDF at rubinagomes.substack.com. Now please grab a cup of your favorite drink and let's have a quick chat. Hello my writer friends, Rubina here. For our 30th conversation, we are going to talk about how publishing your first book means everything and nothing. Almost all writers dream of publishing their books, to see it on the bookshelves, to get tagged in posts showing readers reading and enjoying our books, to being at book signing events and seeing how so many readers are loving our books. We have this imagination for our books that feels so wonderful. I thought I would feel the same way when I published my book. Well, I wasn't entirely correct. The coming week marks the first anniversary of my non-fiction book for writers, Soul Writer versus Social Writer. After 9 years of being a writer apprentice, the last 2 to 3 of which was spent working on this book, I was finally able to hit publish and call myself a published author. As I was inching closer to the published date, I was hoping to be excited, but I wasn't. I was proud of my hard work and of finally achieving my almost decade-long goal, but I wasn't excited. The day of publishing felt like any other day. I had to force myself to go out and celebrate the day. And to do that, of course, I visited the bookstore and the cafe. I also didn't have any loved ones celebrating with me. Not that they didn't love me or care about my work, they were too busy with their obligations. I know I am giving excuses for them, that's how I'm keeping my peace. And the next day, I was back at my desk, working on my next project. This experience taught me 6 lessons. Number 1. Don't wait for external validation. Don't wait for a published book to accept yourself as a writer. Don't wait for others to tell you that you are a writer. Don't expect others to be there celebrating with you. I know this sounds very depressing, but that's how life is. Others only notice you when you are winning, not when you're alone, struggling and practicing your craft. Any external validation you get is, therefore, a bonus, not a requirement. Number 2. Strengthen your internal validation. As Alex Hormozi says, you always have to be the person who roots for you before everyone else does. You have to be your own best friend. Be the shoulder you cry on. Be the coach who helps you find a way out. And you are not doing this out of the loneliness you feel. Don't see it that way. Switch the narrative. See it as your character building phase. Know you already are the writer you desire to be and work on being that version of yourself every day. That's the only proof and validation you need. Number 3. One book doesn't make or break your career. Unless, of course, you do something that tarnishes your reputation, writing and publishing your first book will not be the biggest deal of your life. What it will do instead is give you lessons and open doors for you that you need in the next phase of your writing journey. Publishing my Soul Writer versus Social Writer taught me that self-publishing is not as intimidating as I thought. Now I know the what, the how, and the timeline I need for my next book. Number 4. Feeling neutral is okay. Initially, I felt weird that I wasn't excited enough about publishing my first book. But then I also realized that neither was I nervous, and that's even stranger. You see, when you have given your all to all the steps of producing your book while also staying at peace with your writer self, publishing the book and sending it out into the world becomes the obvious next step. it genuinely doesn't feel like a big deal. It becomes as obvious as brushing your teeth after dinner. Feeling neutral doesn't mean you don't care about your work. It means you have just exchanged excitement for gratitude. You feel honored to be able to write and publish your book, and then move on to the next one. Number 5. The fun is definitely in the process and journey. This realization hit me like a frying pan hitting Tom the cat. I was excited and having the time of my life while I was working on the book. Once I was done with it and published it, I missed not writing it. This feeling is similar to reading a book. You are having a blast when you are reading the book and you get irritated if someone or something disturbs you. But once you are done reading, you miss the world you were in for quite some hours of your life and you don't know what to do with yourself now. You then take the next obvious step. Pick another book to read, and you should do the same with your writing. Number 6. Write your next book. One of the first suggestions a friend of mine gave me when I sent him my ebook was to start working on my next book. That is the most accurate and only advice a writer needs. Your next book, novel, short story, essay, poem, whatever it is, get writing. If you're one of those writers who had a thought, idea, experience or story that you want to share and be done with just publishing that one book, that's totally fine. But if, like me, you want to be an author lifelong, then you have to move on to your next work. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. Instead, you want to keep your readers wondering how on earth you are writing such incredible books one after another. I am glad I shared these lessons with you. They are also a reminder to me as I am about to start working on my next book. I hope to publish it in the coming year, and you will be the first one to know about it. What are your thoughts on this? How did you feel when you shared your first work of writing with the public? Did your expectations and your reality match? Feel free to share your experiences in the comment section on Substack and YouTube. Also, to celebrate the first anniversary of Soul Writer vs. Social Writer, I have just released the audiobook format. Do give it a listen and let me know your thoughts. The link to the audiobook is in the description. Well, that's it for today. Next time we meet, we'll talk about creative gods having a different plan for your writing journey. Until then, keep writing, my friend. Thank you for catching up with me today. I hope you found some inspiration to help you write freely, write fearlessly, and write forever. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow my podcast and leave a review. You can also send me your suggestions and questions through the form in the description and help us grow together. You can find more about our conversations and your free Writer's Mental Toolbox PDF at rubinagomes.substack.com. With that, I'll see you later.